Let me tell you about Fisk Borg, the unofficial fishing supplement for the Mörk Borg role-playing system, made with the third-party license by Richard Kelly, artwork by Adam West, publishing by both of them. And they managed this little print run via Kickstarter. When I first saw this online, I thought it was a joke. Like, fishing supplement for Mörk Borg, who needs that? But then a few weeks later, someone posted a link to this on the Mörk Borg Facebook group again, and this time I followed it and had a look at it, and I remembered that I'm someone who actually spent hours and hours doing that fishing minigame in Ocarina of Time. And also, more recently, that fishing minigame in Red Dead Redemption. Like, after doing one or two story missions, just go back to camp, throw out your line into the lake, enjoy the scenery, catch one or two fish, and then save and call it a day. So, finding out that this was a real product and that had already been founded and was looking promising, I backed it in the last 3 hours or so. Sadly too late to make a Kickstarter video about it. But now, here it is, printed, shipped from the US. I paid import taxes on this and now I'm holding it in my hands. And it's just what it promises to be and a bit more. So it starts with some rules about Fisk combat. Fishing rules, basically. Not fish combat, mind you, more on that later. These rules are fairly straightforward and simple, like the rest of the Mörk Borg rules. So first, find a fishing spot, and the GM can roll on a random table to determine what kind of fishing spot it is. That can be something mundane, like a muddy pond, or something quite out there, like the decaying corpse of a dead god. And depending on where you throw your fishing line, you will get different kinds of fisk that will bite. Once the fisk bites and you pull him in, you reel him in, then the combat starts. So one person in the party is holding the fishing rod, and that one needs to make a check depending on the kind of fisk you're reeling in, to hold firm, to stand firm and just hold him in place, while the rest of the party dogpiles on the poor fisk, beating the living crap out of it until it submits and you can reap the reward. Now there's a big variety of potential fisk in this little book. Starts with something rather mundane, like fish, and goes all the way to creepy things like Lovecraftian leviathans or a whole Stone Age village he somehow managed to bait and lure and pull out of a trash heap. So there's a good bit of silliness and dark humor in here. It's definitely not the boring kind of fishing supplement. Furthermore, we have a random table of fishing rods you can find, make, or acquire in the gaming world, from something a bit mundane, like a tiny bone hook on a piece of thread, or maybe something like a dog's jaw dangling from a piece of hemp thread. It goes all the way. We have some more out there fishing hooks, like human cadaver still tied to gallows crossbeam. This could also be the song of a doom metal track. Maybe it is. Preserved skull and a jaw hanging from a lantern pole. We've got some great fishing implements here. To round this all off, we get 10 new magic spells, here called 10 salt-stained scrolls. Like, for example, the Hellbound Anchor. Target tests strength DR9 or is instantly dragged out of view. They appear the next time you attempt to go fishing and are immune to this power. Or the Ship in a Bottle. Some good stuff in here. We also get a new class, the Wary Angler, who starts with a fishing rod ready to go adventuring and fishing all of the good and bad spots of the doomed world. And finally we get a neat little adventure in a doomed coastal town where the PCs are forced by a monster to go fishing or be eaten by that monster. And in that fishing town there's a nice selection of different fishing spots where you can go to catch some impressive fisk. So all in all, not a bad rules supplement. I think this will complement well with the hunting rules from Eat, Pray, Kill. And maybe I can use some of this in the upcoming Temple of the Kraken God adventure. Since that plays on the high seas and on an island, so I'm sure there will be fisking opportunities there. I must say I find this stuff, some of the stuff in here, really inspiring. And I've got like an idea brewing in my mind about a super dark Lovecraftian whaling setting, like Moby Dick meets Call of Cthulhu. Originally I had that idea when I saw some concept art for a Bloodborne 2 themed art competition on Vativita's channel. I'll leave a link to that with the timestamp. And there's some great and inspiring artwork for locations and items and weapons. And this scenario fascinates me. I mean, I hate modern whaling. But I've also read Moby Dick, and back in that age and before that, when you had to go whaling with basically a sharp stick and rowing boats, and the men would hunt these giant leviathans, and then they would go onto their dingy ships and light the night with the oil they gathered from that whale. Now imagine that, but the whales are actually Lovecraftian monsters from a dark abyss. And maybe there are even some demons out in the darkness of the night, and you need this whale oil light to keep them away. Maybe at a few very early industrial steampunk elements in there, and of course dark magic. I think you've got the seed for an interesting setting. And maybe you could set this somewhere off the coast of Schleswig in the doomed world of Mörk Borg. I think there's potential there to have a number of really creepy seafaring whaling themed adventures. But what do you think? Is there potential there? Is that something you like to hear more about? And how many hours have you played that fishing game in that RPG you last played? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video and want to see more like it, consider liking it down below and subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and goodbye.